What up YouTube, Nathan Heightz here, and in today's video I'm going to give you guys a story about my first tattoo. Now, a lot of people when they meet me in real life, they ask me, why do you have so many tattoos? They ask me how old I am. I'll tell them I'm 26 years old because that's how old I am. And then they'll ask me, why do you have so many tattoos? Especially, I used to get this question, especially when I had my entire face covered before all the tattoo removal and my neck. And people are always kind of confused. They kind of get this idea that I got them all in one day or something. But then I tell them that I started getting tattooed at a very young age, around 14 years old. So at that point, another question that usually follows that up is, what was your first tattoo? And a few of you guys have asked me in the comments on some of my videos what was my first tattoo, and today I want to do this video to kind of explain my first tattoo and just kind of give you guys a story about how I got into tattooing. Right now, if you've seen a lot of my older videos, you probably already know some of the information I'm going to give you, so if that's the case, I apologize, but I'm sure this video will be a little bit entertaining to some of you guys. So the first tattoo that I ever got was a small tattoo on my middle finger, on the side of my finger, and I got it, and it was basically my initials. Now, which finger was it actually? Oh, this finger. Now, nowadays, you can't really see it. Now, I got it really small. It was right there. That was it. You can kind of see the discoloration. Remember, I got it when I was 14, so that was 12 years ago. But I got it there because I did not want my parents to see the tattoo. And basically, the story, which is actually quite interesting, back in those days I used to spend a lot of time with my uncle. He was about the same age as me, he's 2 years older than me, and I used to think he was super cool. So I used to want to do a lot of stuff that he did. So he went to Mexico to meet with one of my tios over there who had gotten out of jail and was deported. And they started talking, and my tio used to tattoo in prison. So what he did is he actually made a tattoo machine and he gave it to my uncle. Now from there, I got a nice itch. So from there, my uncle brought this tattoo machine from Mexico back to the United States, and he brought it home with him. And what did he do? He tattooed himself. He did a tattoo of my grandma's name on his forearm, and it came out pretty cool. At least I thought it was pretty cool, but in reality it wasn't. The letters are a little too spaced. There's too much space between the letters. And he finished the tattoo on himself, and he asked me, do you want a tattoo? And of course, being a 14-year-old, highly impressionable, and I was already kind of intrigued by tattoos because I had an uncle that lived with me, and he had a bunch of tattoo magazines that he left behind when he went to prison. I know there's a lot of people going to prison, unfortunately, in my family. Not really, though. I think these are the only two people, the only two uncles who been to prison. Actually, okay, anyways, that's another story. But yes, I had an uncle living with me who had a bunch of tattoo magazines that he left behind when he went to prison. So I would look at them, and yeah, I was very intrigued. So anyways, I said, sure, I want a tattoo, but I want it super small where no one will see because I did not want to get in trouble. I was only 14 years old, so he did my initials on my finger with this ghetto tattoo machine. Now, one important detail of this ghetto tattoo machine was that the needle was actually a guitar string. I know, really classic. A lot of people, when they think of homemade tattoo machines, they think of guitar strings. But one thing they don't think about when getting tattooed by a homemade tattoo machine, at least not when you're 14 years old, is the fact that you don't really clean the needle after, right? I mean, you can take it off. It's kind of hard. You kind of have to super glue it in there so that it doesn't pop out when the little, when the Walkman motor is spinning. So it's kind of super glued in there, and it's not really removable. So all we really did is we soaked it in water, and we rubbed it in alcohol, and that's it. Now luckily my uncle didn't have anything. We were the only two at this time who had gotten tattoos with this machine. After that, more people actually got tattoos. So yeah, luckily we were the only two people who had gotten tattooed with this machine up to this point. Him being the first, or actually now that I think about it, my uncle had that machine, so he probably tattooed himself with it. But anyways, so there's my uncle in Mexico, a big question mark, right? Because who knows who got tattooed with it. I don't think anybody else did, but there's always that possibility. Then there was my tio, my other uncle, my young uncle, and then me, and then my tío started tattooing some of his friends, as far as I know. Now, my tío never became a tattoo artist, but for me, this was the first time I ever got tattooed. I thought it was so cool. It didn't really last long, just because the nature of getting tattooed on your finger, on the side of your finger, isn't exactly a good place. But there's still this little couple dots here that always remind me of my first tattoo and the story behind it. Now, this first tattoo quickly turned into more. By the time I was 16, I already had visible tattoos all over my forearms. And by the time I was 18, I already had my whole face and my neck covered. So I don't suggest anybody follow in my footsteps and do what I've done. But yes, that is basically the story of my first tattoos. I hope that was at least a little bit entertaining for you guys. Now, before you guys go, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel for more videos weekly. I do videos in Spanish and English. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my content. We talk about learning the Spanish language, how to learn a language, different strategies for language learning, and we also talk about tattoos, tattoo removals, etc., because I have a lot of experience with it, and I have an extensive history with different tattoo removal methods. So with that, thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit that like button, and let me know in the comments below in the comments, let me know your first tattoo and the story behind it. I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say. With that, take care, amigos. Adios.